May 15th, 1944. Evening. Camp near Ivy Bridge, Devon, England. My name is James Dalton. Jimmy to everyone back home. I'm 22 years old, Private First Class, Company A, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division. My mother gave me this diary before I shipped out. She wrapped it in brown paper with a note that said, "Write to us, even if you can't mail it." The leather's soft, expensive. She must have saved up for months. There's a pencil holder sewn into the spine. I'm sitting on my bunk in a Nissen hut. It's cold tonight. The corrugated steel walls make everything echo. Rain's been coming down since this morning, steady drumming on the roof. 48 men in here, all from Company A. Most of them are playing cards or writing letters home. Someone's reading a Life magazine by candlelight. The air smells like wet wool and cigarette smoke. I don't know if I'll keep this up. Writing a diary seems like something a kid does, or a girl. But Ma asked me to, so here I am. We've been in England since last October, 7 months now. Seems like forever and no time at all. We train every day, mostly amphibious assault drills. They march us down to the coast, load us into these boats called LCVPs, Higgins boats they call them, and we practice hitting the beach over and over. Up the ramp, down the ramp, run through the water, hit the sand, find cover. My boots are never dry. The Devon countryside is beautiful, I'll give it that. Green hills, stone walls everywhere, sheep in every field. Reminds me a little of the Blue Ridge Mountains back home, except everything here is so old. The pub in the village has been there since 16-something. Can you imagine? Before America even existed. Bedford feels like another world, another life. I got a letter from Eleanor yesterday. She's worried about me, I can tell, even though she tries to sound cheerful. She told me about the spring planting, about how my sisters are doing in school. Mary made honor roll. Ruth got in trouble for talking back to Mrs. Henderson. That made me smile. Ruth never could keep quiet when she thought something was unfair. Eleanor didn't say she misses me, but I could read it between the lines. We've been courting for 2 years now. Everyone knows we'll get married when I get back. When? Not if. Got to think that way. The boys from Bedford are all here in Company A. Roy Stevens sleeps in the bunk next to mine. We've been best friends since we were 6 years old. Used to play baseball together every summer. He could throw a fastball that would make your hand sting even through the glove. Earl Parker's here too. He's the joker. Always got something funny to say. Even when we're soaking wet and miserable after a drill, Earl can make us laugh. Says he's going to open a restaurant after the war. Parker's Palace, he calls it. Says he'll give all us Bedford boys free meals for life. Bedford Hoback is the oldest of us Bedford boys. He's 27, married, got a baby daughter he's never met. She was born 3 months after he shipped out. He carries a picture of his wife holding the baby, shows it to everyone. You can see it's killing him being away from them. But he never complains. There's something happening. You can feel it in the air. The officers won't say, but we all know. This is it. The invasion. The real thing. All this training, it's been building to something. You can see it in the sergeants' faces. They're getting serious. No more joking around during drills. I'm scared. I can admit it here, in this diary. I can't say it to Roy or Earl or any of the boys, but I'm terrified. Not of fighting exactly. Not of getting shot. I'm scared of drowning. Always have been. When I was 8, I fell through the ice on Miller's Pond back home. The water was so cold it felt like knives. I couldn't breathe, couldn't see, couldn't tell which way was up. My brother Thomas pulled me out. I can still remember that feeling. The weight of the water, the burning in my lungs, the sure knowledge I was going to die. And now we practice hitting the beach from boats, and they load us down with so much equipment. 60 pounds of gear at least, rifle, ammo, grenades, pack, gas mask, entrenching tool. If you go in the water with all that weight, you go straight down. But that's not the kind of thing you say out loud. So I keep my rifle clean, I check my gear 3 times a day, and I try not to think about cold water closing over my head. The candle's burning low, lights out in 10 minutes anyway. If I do keep writing in this diary, maybe someday I'll look back on these entries and laugh. Maybe I'll read them to my kids and tell them about when their old man was young and scared in England, waiting for a war to start. That's a nice thought to end on. May 19th, 1944. After midnight. Same bunk, same hut, different day. Can't sleep. We did a night exercise tonight, practice landing in the dark. It was chaos. You can't see anything. Everyone's bumping into each other, shouting, trying to follow orders you can barely hear. This is what it's going to be like. I should write about the boys more. If Ma ever reads this, she'll want to know about the people I'm with, the ones keeping me company over here. Roy's the same as he's always been. Steady, reliable. He doesn't talk much about being scared. Not sure if that means he isn't, or if he's just better at hiding it than I am. We don't talk about deep things much, just the regular stuff. Baseball, girls, food we miss from home, his ma's fried chicken, my ma's apple pie. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes you don't need to say the big things. You just need someone who knows you, who remembers the same things you remember. Someone from home. Earl keeps us laughing. Today at Chow, he did an impression of Sergeant Morrison that had the whole table in stitches. Morrison's from Brooklyn, got this thick accent, always yelling about "use guys." Earl got it perfect. Even the way Morrison stands, chest puffed out like a rooster. Of course, 5 minutes later, Morrison walked by and Earl had to pretend he was coughing. We all covered for him. That's how it is. We look out for each other. Bedford Hoback showed me a new picture today. His wife sent it. The baby's bigger now, starting to smile. He stared at it for a long time, not saying anything. Then he folded it very carefully and put it back in his pocket. "She'll know me when I get back," he said. "I'll make sure she knows her daddy." I wanted to say something encouraging, but what is there to say? We all just nodded. There are other Bedford boys in Company A, 35 of us total, from a town of 3,200 people. That's a lot. Most companies, the men come from all over. But we recruited heavy in Bedford. They called us the Bedford Boys before we even left Virginia. Sometimes I think about that. About how if something bad happens to Company A, it won't just be casualties in a report. It'll be Bedford. It'll be families who know each other, mothers who go to the same church, kids who go to the same school. The town's small enough that everyone knows everyone. If something happens to one of us, the whole town will feel it. If something happens to a lot of us, I don't want to think about that. The rain stopped. I can hear someone snoring 3 bunks down. Sounds like a freight train. How anyone sleeps through that, I don't know. We've been training for this for over a year now. Basic training at Camp Blanding in Florida. More training at Fort Meade in Maryland. Then over here since last October. Months and months of drills. Running up beaches. Crawling under barbed wire. Live fire exercises. They're preparing us for something specific. We all know it. The invasion of France. The big push to end this war. The scuttlebutt is it'll be the biggest amphibious operation in history. Thousands of ships. Thousands of planes. More men than anyone's ever put on a beach at once. And we'll be part of it. Company A, the Bedford Boys. First wave, probably. That's what all this training has been for. First wave means you hit the beach while the Germans are still fresh, still fully armed, still ready to fight. First wave takes the most casualties. Everyone knows it. Nobody says it. My hands smell like gun oil. I cleaned my rifle again before lights out. The M1 Garand. Beautiful weapon. Semi-automatic. 8 rounds. When the clip's empty, it ejects with this ping sound. Every soldier in the army knows that sound. I need to sleep. We have a 12-mile march in the morning, full pack. Then more beach drills in the afternoon, but my mind keeps spinning, thinking about home, about Eleanor, about cold water. I wonder if the other guys are lying awake too, or if it's just me. May 24th, 1944. Afternoon, sitting under a tree near the barracks. I'm writing a letter to Eleanor. Well, I was. I finished it, but I'm keeping a copy of what I said in here. Ma wanted me to write what I'm thinking, and the letters are part of that. Here's what I wrote. Dearest Eleanor, I got your letter from April. I'm sorry it takes so long for mail to reach us, and for mine to reach you. I like to imagine our letters passing each other somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean, flying toward each other even when we can't be together. Thank you for the news about home. It makes me feel closer to Bedford, hearing about spring planting and your work at the store and my sisters getting into their usual trouble. Tell Ruth I said she should listen to Mrs. Henderson, even if Mrs. Henderson is a bit strict. And tell Mary congratulations on honor roll. She always was the smart one. I can't tell you much about what we're doing here. The sensors would cut it all out anyway. But I'm keeping well. The food's not as good as your cooking will be someday, but it's enough. The English countryside is pretty, lots of green hills and old stone walls. The weather's rainy, more than not, but I'm getting used to it. I think about you every day. I think about the future we're going to have when this is all over. A little house in Bedford, maybe out near the farm. A porch where we can sit in the evening and watch the sun go down over the mountains. Kids running around in the yard. Sunday dinners with both our families. I know that might sound simple, but that's all I want. Simple and good and peaceful. You and me and a quiet life in Bedford. I'm going to come home, Eleanor. I promise you that. And when I do, we're not waiting another day. We'll get married right away, soon as I step off the train. You better start planning it, because I'm serious. I love you. I'll love you forever. Wait for me. Yours always, Jimmy. That's what I wrote. I hope the censors don't cut out too much. I tried not to say anything about the military situation. The truth is, I don't know if I can keep that promise. About coming home. I want to. God, I want to so badly. But wanting doesn't make it true. If something happens to me, I hope Eleanor finds someone else eventually. Someone good who'll treat her right. She deserves to be happy. She deserves that porch and those kids and Sunday dinners. But I can't write that in a letter. Can't even think about it most of the time. The tree I'm sitting under is an oak. Must be 100 years old, maybe more. The branches spread out like arms. There are birds singing somewhere up in the leaves. I can't see them, but I can hear them. Some kind of British bird. Different song than the birds back home. Everything's different here. The money looks wrong. The cars drive on the wrong side of the road. The beer's warm. Even the birds sing different. I want to go home. But first we have to do this. Whatever this is. The invasion, the push into France, ending this war, then home, then Eleanor, then the rest of our lives. I'm going to fold this letter up and take it to the mail station before chow. With any luck, Eleanor will have it in 3 weeks, and maybe by the time she reads it, we'll have already done the invasion. Maybe it'll all be over by the time my letter reaches Bedford. Maybe we'll win so fast she'll read these words and laugh at how worried I was. That would be nice. May 28th, 1944. Night. Bunk. Chaplain held a service this afternoon. Lots of men showed up. More than usual. We all know what that means. The chaplain's name is Captain Finley. He's from Georgia, got a soft drawl that makes everything he says sound gentle. He's younger than you'd expect for a chaplain, maybe 30. He wears glasses that are always a little crooked. He read from the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. I've heard that psalm 100 times. Every funeral back in Bedford, they read it. Every time someone dies, there it is. The Lord is my shepherd. But today it hit different. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. The valley of the shadow of death. That's where we're going, isn't it? That's what this invasion is. A valley full of shadows, full of death, and we're walking right into it with our eyes open. Will God be with us there? Is he with soldiers when they die? Does he shepherd them home? I was raised Baptist. Church every Sunday, Sunday school, vacation Bible school in the summer. I believed it all. I still do, mostly. But it's harder now. Harder to square the God I learned about in Sunday school with the world I see now. Thou shalt not kill, the Bible says. But I'm a soldier. I've been trained to kill. I'm pretty good at it now, at least in training. I can hit a man-shaped target at 300 yards. I can throw a grenade into a bunker. I can fix a bayonet and charge. Does God forgive that? Does he understand that sometimes killing is necessary? That sometimes you have to fight evil with violence? I don't know. Chaplain Finley says yes. He says this is a just war. He says we're fighting for freedom, for liberty, for the values God himself holds dear. He says the men who die fighting for these things will be received in heaven as heroes. I want to believe that, I really do. But I'm also scared, not just of dying, of what comes after. What if I'm wrong? What if God doesn't see it the way Chaplain Finley does? What if I die and find out I was on the wrong side after all? No, that can't be right. We're fighting Hitler. We're fighting the Nazis. If there's such a thing as evil in this world, They're it. Concentration camps, massacres, conquests. They started this war. We're just trying to end it. We're the good guys. I have to believe that. After the service, I went up to Chaplain Finley. Didn't know what I wanted to say exactly. Just felt like I should talk to him. "How you holding up, son?" he asked. His glasses were crooked. Again, I wanted to reach out and straighten them. "I'm okay, sir. Just thinking." "That's good. Thinking is good. Don't stop thinking just because you're a soldier. Don't turn yourself off." "I'm scared, sir." He nodded. Didn't look surprised or disappointed. Just nodded. "Of course you are. Only a fool wouldn't be scared right now. But being scared doesn't mean you won't do your duty. Some of the bravest men I know are terrified every single day. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what needs to be done despite the fear." "What if I let everyone down?" "You won't." "How do you know?" He smiled. "Because you're here asking these questions. Because you care. The men who fail their brothers are the ones who only think about themselves. You're thinking about your unit, your friends, your duty. That tells me everything I need to know." We talked for a few more minutes. Nothing profound. Just small talk about home, about the weather, about hoping the war ends soon. But it helped. Just talking to someone who seemed calm, who seemed to believe everything would be okay. Before I left, he put his hand on my shoulder. "I'll pray for you, Jimmy. For all the Bedford boys. God knows your hearts. He knows you're good men doing a hard thing. He'll watch over you." I nodded. Couldn't really speak. Walking back to the barracks, I felt a little better. Not less scared, but maybe more ready. Does that make sense? I'm still terrified. Still thinking about cold water and drowning and bullets and all the ways a man can die. But I also feel like maybe, just maybe, I can do this. I can be brave. I can stand with my brothers and do what needs to be done. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I'm trying to believe it. Really trying. God, if you're listening, if you're reading over my shoulder as I write this, please keep us safe. Keep Roy safe. Keep Earl and Bedford and all the boys safe. Bring us through the valley. Lead us home. Amen. June 1st, 1944. Morning. Same barracks, but everything's different. The camp's sealed. As of 0600 hours this morning, nobody in, nobody out. This is it. They moved us to a marshalling area. It's like a big fenced compound, barbed wire all around, guards at the gates. We're locked in. They started briefing us at 0900. All of Company A packed into a tent sitting on benches. Officers at the front with maps and aerial photographs tacked to boards. And then they told us. Operation Overlord, the invasion of France. D-Day, they're calling it. The day we take the war back to Hitler's doorstep. They showed us where we're going, a beach in Normandy. They've got code names for different sections. Gold Beach, Juno Beach, Sword Beach, Utah Beach, Omaha Beach. We're hitting Omaha Beach, Dog Green Sector, the western end. They showed us aerial photographs, black and white, grainy, but you could see everything. The beach, maybe 500 yards of sand and shingle. Then a seawall or a bank, maybe 8 feet high. Then bluffs rising up beyond that, 150 feet or so. At the top of the bluffs, there's a road. Little villages scattered around, fields divided up with these thick hedgerows. And all along the bluffs, all along the beach, German fortifications, bunkers, pillboxes, machine gun nests, artillery positions, barbed wire, beach obstacles, mines. They've had 4 years to turn that beach into a fortress, 4 years to dig in, to build, to prepare, and we're going to hit it head on. Captain Fellers did most of the talking. He's our company commander, good officer, fair, the kind of man you trust. He stood there with a pointer, tapping the map, explaining the plan. Company A will land at H hour, he said. That's 0630 hours. Dawn. First light. We'll be in the first wave. Our objective is to secure the Vierville draw. He pointed to a little valley that cut through the bluffs. This is D1 exit. It's the only vehicle access off the beach in this sector. We take this draw. We open the way inland. First wave. Of course we're first wave. All that training, all those drills, it was preparing us for this. To be the first men on the beach. Earl raised his hand. Sir, what about the German defenses? Captain Fellers nodded, like he expected the question. Naval bombardment starts at 0550 hours. Battleships and cruisers will pound the beach for 35 minutes. Then heavy bombers will make runs just before we land. By the time you hit the beach, those fortifications should be softened up considerably. Softened up. That's the word he used. Like the Germans are butter, and our bombs are going to make them spread easier. Someone else asked about casualties. Nobody wanted to, but somebody had to. Captain Fellers looked at us for a long moment. Then he said, "I won't lie to you men. This is going to be tough, but we've trained for this. You're ready. And we've got overwhelming force. Thousands of ships, thousands of planes, divisions of men. The Germans can't stop all of us. We're going to punch through, establish a beachhead, and push inland. By this time, next week, we'll be eating breakfast in Paris." That got a few laughs. Nervous laughs, but still. After Captain Fellers finished, General Cota spoke to us. General Norman Cota, Assistant Division Commander. He's a tough old bird, been in the army forever. He walked up and down in front of us, looking each man in the eye. "Men," he said, "you are the spearhead of the greatest military operation in history. When you hit that beach, the fate of the free world is in your hands. Our country is counting on you. Your families are counting on you. I'm counting on you." He stopped pacing, stood at attention. "I know you're scared. That's good. Fear keeps you sharp. But don't let fear control you. When that ramp drops, you follow your training. You trust the man next to you. You move forward, no matter what. Forward, always forward." Then he said something I'll never forget. There are only two kinds of people who stay on a beach under fire: the dead and those who are about to die. When you hit that beach, you keep moving. You get off that beach, you do your job. After the briefing, they issued us new gear, more ammunition, grenades, rations, gas masks, in case the Germans use gas, French money, francs, in case we need to buy something from the locals, maps printed on cloth so they won't fall apart if they get wet. Everything's waterproofed. Our ammo, our rations, everything sealed in plastic or oilcloth, because they expect us to get soaked, because we're going into the water. I looked at the map for a long time, traced the beach with my finger. Dog Green Sector, Vierville Draw. That's where I'm going. That's where we're all going. It looks so small on the map, just a strip of sand, a little valley. How can such a small place be so important? But I guess that's how war works. Big history gets made in small places. A beach, a field, a town, places that don't matter until suddenly they matter more than anything. We're confined to the marshalling area now. Can't leave, can't make phone calls, can't send letters. We're cut off from the world. Just us waiting. Roy's been quiet since the briefing. He's sitting on his bunk right now, cleaning his rifle for the third time. His hands are moving automatically, but his eyes are somewhere else. Earl tried to make a joke about French girls, but it fell flat. Nobody laughed. Bedford's looking at his picture again, his wife and baby. I watched him trace the baby's face with one finger, very gently. The tent feels smaller now, like the air's thicker. Everyone's thinking the same thing, even if nobody's saying it. Some of us aren't coming back from that beach. The question is who? Who's going to die on Dog Green Sector? Who's going to make it off? Is it random? Does God already know? Have our fates already been decided? I don't want to die. I'm not ready. I haven't lived yet. I'm 22 years old. I was supposed to marry Eleanor, supposed to have kids, supposed to see my sisters grow up. I was supposed to have a life. But I signed up. I raised my hand. I took the oath. I'm a soldier in the United States Army, and I've got a job to do. If I die doing it, at least it'll mean something. At least I'll have been part of this. The invasion, the liberation of Europe, the fight against evil. That has to be enough. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Please, God, please let me be one of the ones who makes it. June 2nd, 1944. Afternoon, still in the marshalling area, more briefings today, more details, more maps, more photographs. They're not holding anything back now. They're telling us everything. The beach is going to be a nightmare. 500 yards of open sand with no cover. The Germans have the high ground. They can see everything, shoot at everything. The beach obstacles are worse than I thought. They've got these things called Belgian gates, big steel frames they can roll down to block vehicles. Czech hedgehogs, crossed steel beams that look like jacks. They've driven wooden stakes into the sand at angles, with mines attached to the tops. Everything's designed to rip open landing craft, blow up tanks, stop us cold. That's why we're going at low tide. The obstacles will be exposed. Engineers will blow them up while we push inland. That's the plan anyway. Low tide also means more beach to cross, more time in the open, more time under fire. The German strong point above Dog Green is designated WN72, wider stance nest, resistance nest, concrete bunker with an 88mm gun, machine gun positions, mortar pits, interconnecting trenches, fields of fire that cover every inch of the beach. They showed us the firing angles. There's nowhere to hide. The Germans can hit you anywhere on that beach. But remember, the briefing officer said, the naval bombardment and air attack will neutralize most of these positions. You'll have smoke for cover, and you'll be moving fast. The key is speed. Get off the beach, get to the cover of the seawall, then move up the bluffs. Neutralize. Cover. Speed. Easy words to say in a briefing tent. I keep thinking about that strong point. WN72. Some German soldier is in that bunker right now. Maybe he's 22 too. Maybe he's got a girl back home, a mother who's worried about him. Maybe he's scared. But on June 6th, he's going to be trying to kill me. And I'm going to be trying to kill him. That's war. That's what we signed up for. After the briefing, we had some free time. Roy and I found a quiet spot behind one of the tents, sat on some empty ammo crates, smoked cigarettes. Neither of us said anything for a while, just smoked and watched the sky. It was overcast, gray clouds moving fast, wind smelled like rain. Remember that game against Roanoke? Roy said finally. Junior year? I smiled. The one where you struck out 12 batters? 13, but who's counting? You are, apparently. He laughed, short, quick, then went quiet again. We're going to make it, he said. Didn't sound like he believed it. Sounded like he was trying to convince himself. We're going to make it through this, and we're going to go home, and we're going to play baseball again. Maybe not for the town team, maybe something bigger. You never know. Yeah, I said, we will. Promise me something, Jimmy. Anything. If I don't make it, if something happens, you tell my ma I wasn't scared. You tell her I did my duty. You tell her I thought about her and Pop and my sister right up until the end. Can you do that? My throat got tight. Roy, nothing's going to happen to you. Just promise me. I promise, but you have to promise me the same thing. You tell my family I was brave. You tell Eleanor I loved her. You make sure they know. He stuck out his hand. We shook, sealing the deal. Brothers, he said. Brothers, I agreed. We finished our cigarettes, headed back to the tent. Didn't talk about it again, but I have his mother's address now, written down in the back of this diary, just in case. Earl found me later. He had that forced, cheerful look on his face, the one he gets when he's trying to keep everyone's spirits up. Hey, Jimmy, you want to hear my restaurant menu? I've been working on it. Sure, Earl. Okay, so first we've got Parker's Special. That's a steak, thick as your hand, cooked medium rare with onions and mushrooms. Comes with mashed potatoes and green beans. Then we've got the Bedford burger, double patty, cheese, bacon, all the fixings. Then there's the Victory chicken. That's fried chicken with my mama's special coating, comes with biscuits and gravy. And for dessert, apple pie with ice cream, real vanilla ice cream, none of that fake stuff. I listened to him describe every dish in detail. His voice got more animated as he went on, like he could really see it. The restaurant, the menu, the customers, the future. Sounds good, Earl. I'll eat there every day. Damn right you will. Free meals for all the Bedford boys, remember? I already told you that. We're all going to sit around telling stories about the war, eating good food, having a few beers. It's going to be perfect. Yeah, perfect. His smile slipped a little. It is going to be perfect, right, Jimmy? We're going to get through this? I wanted to say yes. Wanted to promise him his restaurant would be real, that we'd all sit around his tables laughing about old times, but I couldn't lie to Earl. Not about this. I don't know, I said quietly. I hope so. He nodded slowly. The fake cheer drained out of his face. For a second he looked scared, really scared, young. Then he put the smile back on. Well, hell, we better make it then. I've got a restaurant to open. You better save me a table. The best table. Right by the window. Bedford Hoback came over later. sat down next to me without saying anything, pulled out his photograph, stared at it. His wife's name is Lucy. The baby is Margaret, but they call her Maggie. She has Lucy's eyes, he says. She'll be 8 months old when I get back, he said. Walking soon, maybe talking. I'm going to miss her first steps, her first words. You'll be home soon, I said, knowing it might not be true. Lucy wrote me yesterday, before they sealed the camp. She said she understands why I'm here, said she's proud of me, said Maggie will grow up knowing her father is a hero. He folded the photograph carefully, put it back in his pocket. I'm not a hero, Jimmy. I'm just a man who misses his family, who wants to go home. That's what makes you a hero. You're here anyway. He looked at me, older than his 27 years, tired. Take care of yourself on that beach. Keep your head down. Move fast. Don't stop for anyone. You understand? Don't stop. I understand. Good. He got up and walked away, didn't look back. I'm lying in my bunk now. It's almost lights out. The tent's full of quiet sounds. Men writing letters, praying, talking in low voices. Someone's crying, trying to hide it. We all know these might be our last days, our last hours. Everything we do now has weight. Every conversation might be the last one. Every cigarette might be the final smoke. Every letter home might be the goodbye. I don't want to die. I don't want Roy to die, or Earl, or Bedford, or any of the boys from home. I don't want any of us to die, but some of us will. On Dog Green Sector, in the first wave, hitting a fortified beach at dawn, some of us will die. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. My chest is tight, my hands are shaking, but I'm also ready, I think, as ready as I'll ever be. God, watch over us, watch over the Bedford boys, bring us through the valley, please. June 3rd, 1944. Evening. Last day before we move out. This is it. Last entry before we go. They're loading us onto trucks tonight, taking us to the ships. We embark tomorrow. Cross the channel. And then, whenever the weather clears, we hit the beach. Could be June 4th, could be June 5th, could be later, but soon, very soon. Today was strange. It felt like everything was both too fast and too slow, like time was broken. Seconds lasted forever, but hours disappeared. We spent the morning cleaning weapons. Again, everyone's cleaned their rifle so many times it's probably the cleanest piece of equipment in the whole army. But it's something to do, something to focus on. You can't think about dying when you're counting rounds and checking springs. Chaplain Finley held another service. Even more men showed up this time. The tent was packed, men standing in the back, sitting on the ground outside the entrance. He didn't preach about glory or victory this time. He talked about peace, about the peace that passes understanding, about how God is with us in the valley, in the darkness, in the shadow of death. He prayed for all of us. Individual prayers, as many names as he could remember. I heard him say Roy Stevens, Earl Parker, Bedford Hoback, James Dalton. Hearing my own name in his prayer made it real. This isn't just something happening to other people. It's happening to me. After the service, men lined up to talk to him. Some wanted confession, some wanted prayer, some just wanted to shake his hand. I waited until the crowd thinned. Then I walked up. Chaplain Finley, sir, can I ask you something? Of course, son. Do you believe God protects soldiers? In battle, I mean. Do you think he keeps the good ones safe? He took off his crooked glasses, cleaned them on his shirt, put them back on, still crooked. I think God is with us always, in life and in death, but I don't think he plays favorites. Good men die in war, Jimmy. Bad men survive. It's not always fair. It's not always just, but God is still there, still loving us, still waiting for us on the other side if the worst happens. That's not very comforting. No, I suppose it's not, but it's the truth. And right now, I think you need truth more than comfort. I nodded. He was right. Thank you, sir. Jimmy, listen to me. When you're on that beach, when the bullets are flying and everything is chaos, remember this. You are loved by God, by your family, by your friends. That love doesn't stop just because you're in danger. It doesn't end if you die. Love is eternal. Hold on to that. I will. He shook my hand. His grip was firm. I'll see you in France, Private Dalton. Yes, sir, in France. The afternoon passed in a blur. Final equipment check, final briefing, final meal, steak and eggs. The condemned man's breakfast, someone joked. Nobody laughed. Earl tried to get a card game going, but nobody could focus. Bedford wrote a letter to Lucy, sealed it, put it in his pocket. Roy just sat on his bunk, staring at nothing. I tried to write a letter to Eleanor, started it 6 times. Couldn't find the right words. How do you say goodbye when you don't know if you're saying goodbye? How do you tell someone you love them when you might be dead before they read it? Finally, I just wrote this. Eleanor, I love you. Whatever happens, remember that. I love you. That was all I could manage. I sealed it, addressed it. I'll mail it from the ship if I can. As the sun started to set, Captain Fellers called us all together one last time. Men, I'm proud to serve with you. I'm proud to lead you. Tomorrow we make history. We strike a blow for freedom, for liberty, for our country and our families and everything we hold dear. I know you'll do your duty. I know you'll make Company A proud. I know you'll make Bedford proud. He paused, looked at each of us. See you on the other side of the channel, boys. See you in France. Yes, sir, we all shouted, loud as we could, trying to sound brave. The trucks are here now. Engines running. Time to go. Roy's packing his stuff. Earl's making one last joke about French girls. Bedford's touching his pocket where he keeps the photograph. I'm closing this diary, putting it in my waterproof bag with my letters and papers. If something happens to me, if I don't make it, I hope someone finds this. I hope they send it back to Ma. I hope she knows I tried to be brave. I hope she knows I was thinking of home right up until the end. I don't know if I'll have time to write on the ship. Don't know if I'll be able to write anything after we hit the beach. This might be my last entry for a while, or my last entry ever. If it is, then let me say this. I'm James Dalton from Bedford, Virginia. I'm 22 years old. I love my family. I love Eleanor Hayes. I love my town. I love my country. And I'm about to do the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm scared. I'm so scared I can taste it, metallic and sharp. But I'm going anyway, because my brothers are going. Because it's my duty, because someone has to. If I die for something that matters. If I live, I'll never forget this. Either way, I was here. I was part of this. The Bedford boys are loading onto the trucks. Roy's waving at me. Time to go. God be with us all. June 4th, 1944. Late night. Aboard USS Samuel Chase, somewhere in the English Channel. I'm writing this by flashlight in the hold of a transport ship. It's cramped, dark, smells like diesel and sweat and vomit. The sea is rough. The ship is pitching back and forth. Men are sick everywhere. We loaded onto trucks at 2100 hours last night. Convoy down to Weymouth Harbor. Even in the dark, you could see the ships. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. Filling the harbor, stretching out to sea. Every kind of ship you can imagine. Destroyers, cruisers, battleships, transports, landing craft. And above us, the sky full of planes, gliders being towed, bombers heading toward France, fighters providing cover. The biggest armada ever assembled, all focused on one goal, one beach. We boarded the Samuel Chase around midnight, climbed down rope nets into the hold. They packed us in tight, men from Company A plus other units. All first wave, all hitting Omaha Beach. The ship set sail around 0300 hours. I went up on deck to watch. Roy came with me. The channel was black. Couldn't see the water, couldn't see the horizon, just the lights of other ships all around us. Thousands of tiny lights, like stars fallen into the ocean. And beyond them, the coast of France. Dark, waiting. This is really happening, Roy said. Yeah. No turning back now. No. We stood there for a long time, not talking, just watching the water. Then the wind picked up, the sea got rougher. An officer ordered everyone below decks. Too dangerous up top in the dark with the ship rolling like this. Back in the hold, men tried to sleep. But the ship's motion was too violent. Every time you'd start to drift off, a big wave would hit and you'd nearly fall out of your bunk. Most men gave up on sleep. Some played cards by flashlight. Some wrote letters. Some prayed. Some threw up into buckets. Around 0800 this morning, an announcement came over the speaker. General Eisenhower's message to the troops. Someone read it aloud. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the Great Crusade, toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely, but this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940 and 1941. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. The Great Crusade, that's what this is. That's what we're part of. The eyes of the world are upon you. We will accept nothing less than full victory. I copied down as much as I could remember, wanted to have it here, something to hold on to, but then, a few hours later, another announcement. The invasion is postponed. Weather is too rough. Too much wind, too many waves. The landing craft can't operate safely. We'll try again tomorrow. 24 more hours. Another day of waiting. The relief was immediate. Men laughing, joking. We get another day. Another day of life before we have to face that beach. But the relief didn't last long. Now it's torture. Another whole day on this ship. Another whole day of fear, of anticipation, of not knowing. It would almost be better to just get it over with. To go now, tonight, in the dark. At least then we wouldn't have to wait. The ship is still rolling. My stomach is in knots. Not sure if it's seasickness or fear. Probably both. Roy's in the bunk below mine. Earl's across the way. Bedford's near the ladder. We're staying close. Looking out for each other. Every time the ship rolls hard, equipment shifts. Metal clanging against metal. Men cursing. Someone puking. It's miserable. I tried to eat earlier. They brought around sandwiches and coffee. Couldn't stomach it. The coffee tasted like oil and the sandwich felt like cardboard in my mouth. Most men are in the same boat. Literally and figuratively. Too nervous to eat. Too sick from the waves. Too focused on tomorrow. Because tomorrow is really it. June 5th. That's when we go. Weather permitting. And if the weather's bad again? Another postponement? How long can we sit out here in the channel, waiting, working ourselves into a panic? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. All I know is I'm in the hold of a ship, in the dark, with the smell of vomit and diesel, surrounded by scared young men trying to pretend they're not scared. And somewhere out there in the darkness, France is waiting. And on France's beaches, the Germans are waiting. And tomorrow or the next day or the day after that, we're going to hit that beach, and everything changes. I should try to sleep, need my strength for whatever comes, but every time I close my eyes, I see that beach. Dog. Green sector. WN72, 500 yards of open sand, and cold water, always the cold water. God, give me strength. June 5th, 1944. Afternoon. Still aboard USS Samuel Chase. The sea is still rough. Grey water, whitecaps everywhere. Wind howling. The ship rolling and pitching. But we're going anyway. Announcement came at noon. The invasion is on. Tomorrow morning, June 6th, H hour at 0630. Eisenhower made the call. Weather's supposed to improve slightly overnight. Not perfect, but good enough. If we wait any longer, we'll have to wait 2 weeks for the tides to be right again. 2 weeks of sitting on these ships? 2 weeks of this fear? No. Better to go now. Better to get it over with. The hold is chaos. Men checking equipment again and again, loading magazines, sharpening knives, some men writing lost letters, others just sitting, staring at nothing. The reality is setting in. This is actually happening. In less than 24 hours, we're going to be on that beach. Roy gave me something today, his mother's address, written on a piece of paper, folded up small. You remember our promise, Oz, he said. Roy, stop. You're going to be fine. Just keep it, please. I took the paper, put it in my breast pocket with my letter to Eleanor. You keep mine too, I said, gave him my parents' address. Just in case. He nodded. We didn't say anything else about it. Earl's been quiet all day. No jokes. No talk about his restaurant. He's just sitting on his bunk, holding his rifle, staring at the wall. I sat down next to him. You okay? Yeah, sure. Fine. Earl. He looked at me. His eyes were red. I don't want to die, Jimmy. I'm only 21 years old. I haven't done anything yet, haven't seen anything, haven't lived. You're not going to die. You don't know that. No, but I believe it. I believe we're all going to make it. All of us. The whole Bedford crew. We're going to take that beach and we're going to win this war and we're going to go home and you're going to open your restaurant and I'm going to eat there every week. Free meals, remember? He tried to smile, couldn't quite manage it. Free meals. For life. Damn right. He gripped my arm. Thanks, Jimmy. Brothers. Brothers. Bedford Hoback has been writing all day, letter after letter. Must have written 10 of them. To Lucy, to his parents, to his sisters, to friends. I asked him what he was writing about. Everything I want to say, everything I might not get to say later. I'm not taking any chances. If something happens to me, Lucy's going to know exactly how I felt, how much I loved her, how much I loved Maggie, every detail, nothing left unsaid. Smart man. I should do the same. But I can't. Can't write to Eleanor, can't tell her I might die tomorrow, can't put that on her. Better to let her believe everything's fine. Better to let her hope. Maybe that makes me a coward. Maybe I should be honest, but I can't. I just can't. The afternoon dragged on forever. Every hour felt like a week. They served us dinner at 1800 hours. Steak and eggs, real steak, cooked medium, fried eggs, crispy around the edges, toast with butter, coffee. The condemned man's last meal. Nobody said it, but everyone was thinking it. This might be the last hot meal some of us ever eat. I forced myself to eat. Needed the energy, needed the strength, but everything tasted like dust. Around 1900 hours, they called us up on deck for a final briefing. The sun was setting, turning the clouds orange and purple. The sea was still rough, but maybe a little calmer than this morning. Maybe. Captain Fellers stood on an elevated platform so everyone could see him. Behind him, the coast of France. Dark, ominous. Men, he said. His voice was strong, confident. This is it. This is what we trained for. In a few hours, we're going to hit Omaha Beach. We're going to take that beach. We're going to secure the Vierville draw, and we're going to open the way for the rest of the invasion. He paused, looked at all of us. Some of you are scared. That's okay. I'm scared too. Any man who says he's not scared is either a liar or a fool. But we're going anyway, because it's our duty, because our country needs us, because the world needs us. He pointed toward France. Over there, millions of people are living under Nazi oppression. They're waiting for us, hoping for us, praying for us. We're not just fighting for America. We're fighting for them, for freedom, for liberty, for everything that's good and right in this world. His voice got quieter. We all leaned in to hear. Some of us won't come back. That's the hard truth. But those who do will know they were part of something great, something historic, something that mattered. He saluted us. Good luck, men. I'll see you on the beach. Move fast, stay together, and remember, you're Company A, you're the Bedford boys, make your families proud. Yes, sir, we shouted, as loud as we could. After the briefing, they let us stay on deck for a while. Watch the sunset, smoke, talk quietly. The fleet stretched out in every direction, more ships than I've ever seen, a steel city on the water, all heading toward France, all part of this. Above us, the drone of aircraft, wave after wave of them. Bombers heading to soften up the beach. Gliders and transports carrying paratroopers who've already jumped. They're behind enemy lines right now, securing bridges and roads. fighting and dying in the dark while we wait on these ships. Roy stood next to me at the rail. We didn't talk. Just watched the sky turn from orange to red to purple to black. When the stars came out, he spoke. You ever think about what you'll do after the war? All the time? What do you want? Simple stuff. Marry Eleanor, get a little house, work at a decent job, have kids, grow old. What about you? I want to keep playing baseball. Not professionally, probably. Just for fun. And I want to travel. See? Some of the world, you know? All I've ever seen is Bedford and Florida and Maryland and England and now France. There's got to be more than that. There is. We'll see it together. After this is over. Promise? Promise. But even as I said it, I knew it might not be true. Tomorrow changes everything. Tomorrow might end everything. It's almost midnight now. I'm back in the hold, writing by flashlight. Most men are trying to sleep. Some are praying. I can hear whispered Hail Marys, Our Fathers, personal prayers to God. In a few hours they'll wake us, load us into the landing craft, send us toward the beach, Dog Green Sector, Omaha Beach, the Vierville Draw. I'm so scared I can barely hold the pen. My hands are shaking, my mouth is dry, my heart is racing. But I'm ready, as ready as I'll ever be. I'm thinking about home, about Bedford, about the Blue Ridge Mountains in the morning when the mist rises from the valleys, about the smell of tobacco drying in the barns, about the sound of church bells on Sunday morning, about Eleanor's smile, about my mother's hands, rough from work but gentle when she touched my face, about my father's laugh, about my sisters fighting over nothing important. That's what I'm fighting for. Not abstract ideas, not democracy or freedom or liberty. Those things matter, but they're not why I'm here. I'm here for Bedford, for the people I love, for the life I want to have when this is done. And if I die tomorrow, at least I'll die for something real, something that matters. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. God, if you're listening, please watch over us. Please bring us through. Please let me see home again. But if you can't, if this is where my story ends, then let it mean something. Let my death help win this war. Let it bring my brothers home safe. Let it give Bedford something to be proud of. That's all I ask. I'm closing this diary now, putting it in my waterproof bag. If I don't make it, if someone finds this, please send it to my mother, Mrs. Helen Dalton, Bedford, Virginia. She'll want to know. She'll want to read my words. Tell her I loved her. Tell her I was brave. Tell her I thought of home right until the end. This might be my last entry. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. All I know is that in a few hours the sun will rise over France, and when it does, I'll be going toward it, into the light, into the fire. God be with us all. June 6th, 1944, 0200 hours. Still aboard Samuel Chase. Can't sleep. Nobody can. The hold is full of men lying awake in the dark, waiting. The naval bombardment started about 15 minutes ago. Even from here, 11 miles offshore, you can hear it. A low rumble that shakes the ship. Thunder that doesn't stop. The battleships and cruisers pounding the coast. Thousands of shells raining down on German positions. It sounds like the end of the world. Some men are up on deck watching. I went up for a minute. The horizon toward France is lit up, flashes of orange and red, explosions lighting up the night sky, the sound rolling across the water like continuous thunder. That's where we're going, into that. Back down in the hold, men are making final preparations, checking weapons one more time, writing last letters, praying. Roy's loading his magazines, click, click, click. 8 rounds per clip for the M1. He's got 10 clips, 80 rounds. Plus grenades, plus his bayonet, plus 200 rounds of extra ammo. Earl's just sitting, staring, not moving. Bedford's holding his photograph. Hasn't put it down all night. My hands won't stop shaking. I've tried to hold the pen steady, but I can't. The letters keep jumping around on the page. Is this what real fear feels like? This cold weight in your stomach? This tightness in your chest? This sure knowledge that you might die in the next few hours? I keep thinking about the water, about drowning, about that moment when I was 8 years old, under the ice, sure I was gonna die. Please don't let me drown. Please don't let me go down with all this weight sinking into cold black water. Let me die on the beach if I have to die, but not in the water, please. My throat feels tight. I can't get a full breath. This is it. This is really it. In 4 hours, we load into the landing craft. In 5 hours, we hit the beach. Dog green. WN72, the Valley of the Shadow of Death. I'm so scared. June 6th, 1944. 0500 hours. In the landing craft. Quick entry. Hands shaking too hard for much. They woke us at 0300. Hot coffee. Tried to eat. Couldn't. Gear check. Final briefing. Loaded onto the landing craft Avra at 0430. Climbed down rope nets in the dark. The LCVP was bouncing against the ship's side. Waves crashing. Men nearly fell. 32 of us in this boat. Roy's here. Earl's here. Bedford's here. Most of Company A, dog green section. The boat is pitching violently. Waves coming over the sides. Everyone's soaked. Cold, freezing spray hitting our faces. Men are vomiting. The smell is terrible. Can hear the bombardment. Constant roar. Flashes lighting up the sky. Bombers passing overhead. Hundreds of them. Going to hit the beach. We're 11 miles out. Starting to circle. Waiting for H hour. 0630. 90 minutes. 90 minutes until we go in. Can't write more. Too rough. Too dark. Too scared. If I don't make it, if this is the last thing I write, then know this. I tried. I did my best. I loved my family. I loved my town. I loved my country. God forgive me my sins. God watch over my family. God bring me home. Please. June 6th, 1944. 0530 hours. Still in the landing craft. The sky is getting lighter. Can see the other boats now. Hundreds of them, all around us, all heading toward the beach. The water is gray, choppy, waves 4 to 5 feet. The boat is rising and falling, men sick everywhere. I can see France. Dark coast, cliffs. The beach is a gray strip at the base of the bluffs. It looks so small, so innocent, just sand and water. But I can see the obstacles now. Wooden stakes, metal shapes. The tide is out, everything's exposed. The naval bombardment is lifting, shells going inland. The beach itself looks untouched. The bunkers are still there. The strong points are still there. This is bad. This is really bad. Sergeant Morrison is at the front of the boat, shouting over the engine noise. When that ramp drops, you move. Don't stop. Don't think. Just move. Get to the shingle. Get to the seawall. Keep moving. The boat is turning, lining up. We're going in. I can't feel my hands, my legs. Everything is numb. Roy looks at me. His face is white, wet from spray. He nods once. I nod back. Brothers. The beach is getting closer. 500 yards, 400 yards. I can see the bluffs clearly now. The German positions, the bunkers. 300 yards. There's smoke on the beach. From the bombardment. But not enough. Not nearly enough. 200 yards. Machine gun fire. I can hear it now. The ripping sound of MG-42s, tracers streaking across the water, green lines cutting through the dawn. They're shooting at us. 100 yards, mortars landing in the water, explosions. Huge geysers shooting up. The boat next to us takes a direct hit, just disintegrates. Men in the water, screaming. 50 yards, oh God, oh God, oh God, the ramp is going down. I can't write about what happened next, not right away, not coherently. I'm writing this days later, trying to remember, trying to make sense of it. But it's all fragments, pieces, images burned into my brain. The ramp dropped. Machine gun fire hit us immediately. The men at the front, the ones near the ramp, they didn't have a chance. Cut down instantly. Roy was in front of me. The bullets hit him in the chest. 3 rounds, 4. He fell back, into the water. His eyes were open, surprised. He tried to say something, couldn't. Blood in the water, so much blood. Earl made it 3 steps off the ramp. 3 steps, then his head. I can't describe it. He was there, then he wasn't. Not in any way that mattered. Bedford Hoback, shot in the throat, fell forward into the water. His hands reached up, tried to stop the bleeding, couldn't. The water turned red around him. Sergeant Morrison, half his face gone, fell on top of Bedford. I jumped. Right side of the ramp. Went into the water. Went under. The weight. The equipment. 60 pounds pulling me down. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't see. Cold. So cold. Burning. The water burning my lungs. Underwater. Sinking. This is it. This is how I die. Drowning. Just like I always feared. But something made me fight. Instinct. Survival. I thrashed. Kicked. Dropped my pack. Too heavy. Let it go. Still sinking. Dropped my ammunition belt. My grenades. Just my rifle now. Lighter. Kicked harder. Up toward the light. Broke the surface. Gasping. Choking. Salt water burning my throat. Bullets hitting the water everywhere. Zip, zip, zip. Little splashes all around me. Men screaming. Drowning. Dying. I swam. Toward the beach. Toward the obstacles. A Czech hedgehog. Crossed steel beams. I grabbed it. Held on. Pulled myself up. Out of the water. Chest deep. Then waist deep. Then knees. The beach. I'm on the beach. Running. Bent over. Low. Bullets everywhere. Can't tell where they're coming from. Everywhere. The sand kicking up. Explosions. Mortars. Artillery. Man falling. Bodies. So many bodies. The water's edge is lined with bodies. Floating. Face down. Face up. In pieces. The water is red. Actually red. Like someone dumped paint in the ocean. I ran. Toward a burning tank. Toward anything. Needed cover. Needed to stop moving. Couldn't breathe. Lungs burning. Legs shaking. Made it maybe 50 yards. Fell behind a beach obstacle. Belgian gate. Steel frame. Half buried in sand. Bullets hitting it. Ping, ping, ping. Can't move. Frozen. The fear is total now. Complete. Every cell in my body screaming to run, to hide, to disappear. But there's nowhere to go. The Germans own this beach. They can see everything, hit everything. We're caught in the open, 500 yards of kill zone, men behind the obstacles. 10 or 15 of us in this little section, all pinned down, all terrified, some wounded, screaming for medics. But the medics are dead. I saw one get shot trying to reach a wounded man, shot in the back, fell forward, didn't move again. How long did we stay there? Minutes? Hours? I don't know. Time stopped making sense. The tide was coming in, the water creeping up the beach, inch by inch, covering the bodies, covering the wounded men who couldn't move. One man near me was hit in the stomach, holding his guts in with his hands, crying for his mother. Mama, mama, mama. Over and over, then quiet. I couldn't help him, couldn't do anything, just pressed myself flat behind the obstacle and prayed. Prayed to survive the next second, the next breath. Then someone was there, standing, moving, walking up the beach under fire like he didn't care, like bullets couldn't touch him. General Kota. He was shouting, grabbing men. Get off this beach, get moving. There's only two kinds of people staying on this beach, the dead and those who are about to die. Now get the hell off this beach. He pulled me up, actually grabbed my jacket and yanked me to my feet. Move, soldier, follow me. And I did. Don't know why, don't know how. But I moved. Others moved too, maybe 10 of us, following General Kota, up the beach, toward the bluffs, toward the German guns. We ran, bent over, zigzagging, bullets snapping past, men falling. Keep going, don't stop, don't look back. The seawall, a little embankment, 3 feet high maybe. We threw ourselves behind it, gasped for air, relative safety. The Germans couldn't see us here, not directly, but they knew we were there. Mortars started falling, right on top of us. Explosions, shrapnel, screaming. Bangalore torpedoes. Someone had Bangalores, long pipes full of explosives. Shove them under the barbed wire. Blow it. Make a hole. The explosion was enormous. My ears couldn't hear anything but ringing, but the wire was gone, a gap in the German defenses. Go, go, go. Up. Running again. Through the gap. Up the bluff, steep, so steep, climbing, grabbing grass, rocks, anything, bullets hitting the ground, dirt spraying in my face. Made it maybe halfway up, fell into a crater, shell crater, 2 other men there. Don't know who they were, Rangers maybe, different unit. We have to keep moving, one of them said. I know. On three, 1, 2, 3. Out of the crater, up the slope, the German bunker right above us, WN-72, the strong point. I could see the gun barrels, the dark slits in the concrete, grenades. Someone threw grenades, multiple explosions, then rifle fire, lots of it. Couldn't tell if it was ours or theirs. Made it to the top, level ground, a road, German trenches. But the Germans were pulling back, falling back toward the villages. We'd made it off the beach, made it to the objective. I turned around, looked back at Dog Green. Oh God. The beach was covered with bodies, hundreds of them. In the water, on the sand, at the seawall, everywhere. The landing craft still coming in. More waves, more men, hitting the same beach, taking the same fire, dying the same deaths. Company A. My company. I couldn't see anyone I knew. Couldn't see Roy or Earl or Bedford or any of the Bedford boys. Where are they? Where is everyone? But I knew the answer. They were down there, on that beach, in that water, dead. Most of Company A died in the first 15 minutes. On that beach, in that water, shot to pieces before they could even reach the sand. The Bedford boys, 35 men from Bedford, Virginia, from my town, my friends, my neighbors, gone. Just gone. I'm alive. Somehow, impossibly, I'm alive. And I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what I did right or what they did wrong. We all got off the same boat. We all hit the same beach. But I'm alive and they're dead. I can't process this. Can't understand it. Can't accept it. Roy, Earl, Bedford, gone. All of them gone. June 6th, 1944. Evening. Somewhere in the hedgerows near Vierville-sur-Mer. I'm in a foxhole. Dirt walls on 3 sides. Norman farmland all around. Hedgerows everywhere. Thick earthen walls topped with dense brush. Every field is a maze. Company A is reorganizing. Or what's left of Company A. The count is bad, really bad. Of the 200 plus men who were in Company A this morning, fewer than 100 are still here. Some are wounded. Some are missing. Some are definitely dead. From my landing craft, I think 5 of us made it off the beach. 5 out of 32. The Bedford boys. 19 dead. 19. From a town of 3,000, 19 families are going to get telegrams. 19 mothers are going to answer the door and see the Western Union man and know. Roy Stevens, dead. Best friend since I was 6 years old. Dead before he hit the water. Earl Parker, dead. Never going to open his restaurant. Never going to serve free meals to the Bedford boys. Bedford Hoback, dead. Never going to meet his daughter. Never going to watch her grow up. Lucy's going to raise Maggie alone. Maggie will never remember her father. I should be writing their names. All 19. Honoring them. Remembering them. But I can't. I can't think about it. Can't process it. Every time I try, my mind just goes blank. Shock. I'm in shock. I know that. I can recognize it intellectually, but knowing it doesn't change it. I'm alive. I'm sitting in a foxhole in France. I made it off Omaha Beach. I'm alive, but I don't feel alive. I feel numb, empty, hollow. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely write. The pen keeps slipping. The letters are all over the page. I haven't cried, haven't screamed, haven't done anything. Just sitting here, breathing, existing. There was a firefight an hour ago. German counterattack, small one. Maybe 20 soldiers probing our lines. We fought them off. I fired my rifle. Don't know if I hit anyone. Don't care. The hedgerows make fighting strange. You can't see more than one field in any direction. Every hedgerow is a wall. Every field is its own little battle. We're not advancing much, just holding what we took. The draw at Vierville, the bluffs above Dog Green, a few 100 yards inland. They say other sectors did better. Utah Beach had lighter casualties, the British beaches too. But Omaha was a nightmare. Thousands of casualties. The whole beachhead is precarious, but we're here. We're in France. The invasion worked, sort of. We didn't get pushed back into the sea. Small comfort. Captain Fellers is dead. Killed on the beach. Most of the officers are dead or wounded. Lieutenant, someone is in charge now. Don't even know his name. Some officer from another unit. We're all mixed together. Different companies, different platoons. Whoever's left fighting together. I found a can of rations in my pack. Tried to eat. Couldn't. Everything tastes like sand and salt water and blood. My uniform is still wet, still cold, but I can't feel it. Can't feel much of anything. It's getting dark. Orders are to dig in. Hold our position. More troops are landing on the beach. Reinforcements, supplies, tanks finally making it off the beach. Tomorrow we push inland, toward the next objective, whatever that is. But tonight I sit in this hole and try to make sense of what happened. Roy is dead. I keep thinking it, trying to make it real. Roy is dead. My best friend, the kid who taught me how to throw a curveball, the teenager who covered for me when I snuck out to see Eleanor, the man who stood next to me at church last Christmas and sang hymns off key, dead, shot in the chest on a beach in France, 22 years old, never going to get any older. Earl is dead. The joker, the dreamer, the kid who made us laugh even when everything was terrible, gone, erased. His restaurant will never exist. His dreams died with him. Bedford is dead, never going to hold his daughter, never going to see her smile or hear her laugh or tuck her in at night. Lucy is a widow. Maggie is fatherless. And I'm alive. Why? What did I do that they didn't? Why did the bullets miss me? Why did I surface when I went underwater? Why did I make it up the bluff? There's no answer, no reason, just luck, random chance. The chaos of battle. I'm alive because bullets happened to miss me. That's all. Nothing noble. Nothing meaningful. Just physics and probability. Survivor's guilt. That's what this is called. I learned about it in training. They told us some men feel guilty for surviving when their buddies die. They didn't tell us how to stop feeling it. I should be grateful. Should be thanking God for sparing me. Should be thinking about Eleanor and my family and how lucky I am to still have a future. But all I can think about is Roy's face, the surprise in his eyes, the blood. All I can think about is 19 families in Bedford. All I can think about is how I'm here and they're not. I need to write to Roy's mother. I promised him. Made a promise the day before the invasion. Said I'd tell her he wasn't scared. That he did his duty. That he thought of her. But I can't write that letter yet. Can't find the words. Can't even hold the pen steady enough. Tomorrow. I'll write it tomorrow. Or the day after. Whenever I can function again. Whenever I can think about Roy without my mind shutting down. Artillery in the distance. Ours or theirs, I don't know. The war continues. Tomorrow we fight again. Tomorrow we advance. Tomorrow more men die. But tonight I sit in this hole and mourn. Roy, Earl, Bedford, and all the rest. The Bedford boys, gone. God, why them? Why not me? June 7th, 1944. Morning. Same foxhole. New day. First night in Normandy is over. Didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the beach, saw Roy falling, saw Earl's head, saw Bedford in the water. German artillery probed our positions all night. Didn't hit us directly, but close enough. Dirt raining down into the foxhole. The earth shaking. Around 0300 there was movement, German patrol, maybe 6 men, sneaking through the hedgerows. I saw one clearly, 20 yards away, crossing a gap in the hedge, silhouetted against the slightly lighter sky. I shot him. The M1 barked. The German fell. That's my first confirmed kill. I killed a man. Actually killed him. Saw him alive, pulled the trigger, saw him dead. He was young. Couldn't see details in the dark, but his movements were quick, smooth. Young like me. Maybe he was 22. Maybe he had a girl back home. Maybe his mother was worried about him. Now he's dead in a French field because I shot him. The rest of the Germans retreated. We fired after them. Don't know if we hit anyone else. When dawn came, I went out to check. The German I shot was still there, face down in the grass. I rolled him over. Had to see. Had to know. He was maybe 19. Blonde hair, blue eyes. His mouth was open, like he'd been surprised. There was a picture in his pocket. A girl. Pretty. Smiling. His girlfriend? His sister? I put the picture back, closed his eyes, left him there. Then I walked away and threw up in a ditch. I killed a man, a human being, someone who had a life, a family, a future. Gone because I pulled a trigger. Chaplain Finley says this is war, says we're fighting evil, says the Germans would kill us without hesitation, says it's us or them. I know all that. Intellectually, I understand, but that doesn't change the weight in my chest, the sick feeling in my stomach. The image of his face burned into my memory. I'm a killer now. That's what I am. That's what war has made me. Company A reorganized this morning. We're at about half strength, maybe 100 men left. We've been combined with elements of Company B and Company C, mixed units now. I don't know most of these men, don't know their names, don't want to learn them, don't want to make friends who might die tomorrow. The hedgerow fighting is brutal. Every field is a battle. The Germans are dug in. They know the terrain. Every hedgerow is a fortress. Every gap is a kill zone. We spent all morning taking one field, one single field, maybe 200 yards. Cost us 3 men wounded, snipers everywhere. You can't see them, can't hear them until the shot. Then someone's on the ground, bleeding, screaming. Mortars too. German mortars are terrifyingly accurate. They drop shells right on top of you. We're learning to spread out, move fast, not bunch up. At midday, they brought up rations and water. First hot food since yesterday morning on the ship. Coffee, beans, hard crackers. I sat with 2 men from Baker Company. Didn't know their names, didn't ask. We ate in silence. One of them said, "Hell of a thing yesterday." "Yeah." "You hit Omaha?" "Dog green." "First wave," he whistled. "Heard that was the worst. Real bad." "Yeah, real bad." We didn't talk about it more. What is there to say? After we ate, I tried to write the letter to Roy's mother. Got as far as "Dear Mrs. Stevens" and couldn't continue. Stared at the page for 10 minutes. No words came. How do you tell a mother her son is dead? How do you describe it? How do you make it bearable? You can't. There's no way to make it better. No way to soften it. Her son is dead. That's the truth. Everything else is just decoration. But I promised Roy. I have to try. Tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. We're advancing toward a village called Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer. More hedgerows, more fields, more slow grinding combat. They say the beachhead is secure now. More troops have landed, more equipment. Tanks are finally off the beach and moving inland. The Germans haven't counterattacked in force. We're actually doing it. Holding France. Starting to push inland. But the cost. God, the cost. On Omaha Beach yesterday, approximately 2,400 American casualties. Dead, wounded, missing. 2,400 in one day. On one beach. Company A took over 800 casualties in the regiment total. I don't know the exact numbers, but something like that. Bedford, Virginia, population 3,200, lost 19 boys on D-Day. Maybe more. Some are listed as missing. They might wash up on the beach later, or never be found. 19 dead from one small town. It's incomprehensible. When Bedford hears, when those telegrams arrive, it's going to devastate the town. Everyone knows everyone. These aren't strangers. They're the boys who played baseball at the field behind the high school, who worked at the hardware store and the farms and the mines, who sang in the church choir, who dated the local girls. Gone. All gone. And I'm supposed to keep fighting, keep moving forward, keep killing Germans, keep doing my job. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it in me. But I don't have a choice. There's no going home. No quitting. The only way out is through the hedgerows, through France, through Germany, all the way to Berlin if that's what it takes. And maybe somewhere along the way I die too. Maybe a sniper gets me. Maybe a mortar lands in my foxhole. Maybe I step on a mine. Maybe that would be easier. Maybe that would make more sense. Roy and Earl and Bedford are dead. Why should I survive when they didn't? But that's the guilt talking. The survivor's guilt. I know that. I have to keep going. For them, for the 19 Bedford boys who didn't make it off the beach, for their families, for their memory. I have to survive this. Have to get home. Have to tell their stories. Have to make sure they're remembered. That's my duty now. Not just fighting Germans. Remembering. Bearing witness. making sure the world knows what happened on Dog Green Sector, what happened to Roy Stevens and Earl Parker and Bedford Hoback and all the rest. They deserve to be remembered. They deserve to be more than names on a casualty list, and if I survive, I'll make sure they are. That's my promise. To them. To Bedford. To myself. I'm going to survive, and I'm going to remember. June 7th, 1944. Evening. Dug in near Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer. Another day of fighting, another day of slow progress, another day of losses. We took 2 more fields today. Lost 4 men. 1 killed, 3 wounded. Don't know their names, still don't want to. The hedgerows are nightmares. Thick earthen walls 10 to 15 feet high, topped with trees and dense brush. You can't see over them, can't see through them. Each field is isolated, separate. Every time we cross a gap in the hedgerows, the Germans shoot. Snipers, machine guns, mortars. They've got the ranges memorized. Every gap is pre-sighted. We're learning, moving faster, using smoke, suppressing fire. Bangalore torpedoes to blow holes in the base of the hedgerows. But it's slow, so slow. A few hundred yards a day. At this rate, it'll take months to fight through Normandy. A few hours ago, a runner brought mail. Mail. On D+1, in a combat zone, someone's delivering mail. The Army's logistics are incredible. I got a letter. From Eleanor. Written May 5th. Over a month ago now. I sat in my foxhole and read it. Her handwriting is neat, careful. Every letter perfectly formed. She always was precise about things. Dearest Jimmy, spring is here in Bedford. The mountains are green again and everything is blooming. Your mother's garden is coming in nicely. She says the tomatoes will be ready by July. Your father and Thomas are busy with planting. They miss you terribly. Your sisters are well. Mary is excited about graduating next month. She's planning to work at the library this summer. Ruth is still getting in trouble at school, but we all know she's got a good heart. She just can't help speaking her mind. I miss you so much. Every day I look toward the road, hoping to see you coming home. I know it's foolish. I know you're far away, doing important work, but I can't help it. I miss you. I've been thinking about our future, about the house we'll have, the life we'll build. I want everything with you, Jimmy. Marriage, children, growing old together. A whole lifetime of small, beautiful moments. Please be safe. Please come home to me. I'm waiting for you. I'll always wait for you. All my love, Eleanor. I read it 3 times, trying to connect to those words, to that life, to the person I was when Eleanor wrote this letter. But I can't. That Jimmy, the one who left Bedford back in December 1942, he doesn't exist anymore. That person died yesterday on Omaha Beach. I'm someone else now, someone who's seen things Eleanor can't imagine, someone who's killed a man and watched his friends die and waded through water red with blood. How do I go back to Bedford after this? How do I sit on a porch and talk about tomatoes and small beautiful moments? How do I be normal again? I don't think I can. I don't think any of us can. We're changed, permanently. This war, this day, this beach, it's marked us, scarred us. We're not the boys who left home. We're something else now. I want to write back to Eleanor, want to tell her I love her, that I'm alive, that I'm thinking about her, but I also want to warn her, want to tell her I'm different now, want to prepare her for what's coming home, if I come home. Because I might not. Yesterday proved that. Roy thought he was coming home. Earl thought he was coming home. Bedford thought he was going to meet his daughter. They were all wrong. I might be wrong too. So I'm not making promises to Eleanor, not promising I'll come home, not promising we'll have that house and those children and that lifetime. I'll just say I love her, that I'm thinking about her, that I hope to see her again. That'll have to be enough. I started writing the letter to Roy's mother again. Got a little further this time. Dear Mrs. Stevens, I'm writing to tell you about Roy. I'm sorry I have to write this letter. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry Roy won't be coming home. Roy was my best friend. We grew up together in Bedford. We played baseball together, went to school together, joined the army together. He was the best person I knew. Brave, loyal, kind. Everyone loved Roy. On June 6th, we hit Omaha Beach in Normandy, France. We were in the first wave. The Germans were waiting for us. There was a lot of fire, a lot of casualties. Roy died instantly. He didn't suffer. He was thinking of you and home. He died doing his duty, fighting for his country. I'm so sorry. I wish I could tell you something that would make this better. But there's nothing. Your son is gone. It's not fair. It's not right. But it's true. Roy was a hero. He was my brother. I loved him. I'll never forget him. Sincerely, PFC James Dalton. That's as far as I got before I had to stop. Tears made it impossible to see the page. I cried. For the first time since the beach, sitting in my foxhole, surrounded by war, I cried like a child. For Roy, for Earl, for Bedford, for all 19 Bedford boys, for the families back home, for the mothers and fathers and sisters and girlfriends, for the boys we were and the men we'll never become. I cried until I had nothing left, until I was empty. Then I put the letter away, unfinished. Maybe tomorrow I'll finish it, maybe never, but at least I tried. It's getting dark again. Second night in France. Artillery rumbling in the distance, flares going up, lighting up the sky, green and red and white. Tomorrow we attack again. More hedgerows, more fields, more death. But tonight I'm alive, still breathing, still here. Roy isn't. Earl isn't. Bedford isn't. But I am. And that has to mean something. Has to count for something. I'm going to survive this war. I'm going to go home. I'm going to tell their stories. I'm going to make sure Bedford remembers its boys. That's my mission now. My purpose. Survive. Remember. Tell. For Roy. For Earl. For Bedford. For all of them. I can do that. I have to do that. It's the only way their deaths mean anything. June 8th, 1944. Night. Same hedgerows, same war. Different nightmare. More fighting today. More ground gained. More men lost. The hedgerows are teaching us lessons in blood. Every mistake costs lives. Bunching up, mortar gets you. Moving too slow, sniper gets you. Moving too fast, machine gun gets you. There's no right answer, just degrees of wrong. We took 3 fields today, lost 6 men, 2 killed outright, 4 wounded, 2 seriously. One of the wounded was screaming for his mother, over and over. Mom, Mom, please, Mom, like she could hear him, like she could save him. The medics got to him eventually. Morphine, bandages, loaded him onto a stretcher. Don't know if he'll make it. Don't want to know. I'm operating on autopilot now. Follow orders. Point gun, pull trigger, move, dig in, eat, sleep when possible. Repeat. Don't think, don't feel, just function. It's easier this way, safer. If you think too much, you freeze up. If you feel too much, you break down. So I don't. I'm a machine, a weapon. Point me at the Germans and I kill them. I've killed 3 more since yesterday, maybe 4. Hard to tell when you're shooting at shadows in hedgerows, but 3 confirmed. Saw them fall, knew I hit them. 1 was running across a field. I led him, squeezed the trigger, he went down, quick, clean. 1 was in a tree, sniper, thought he was hidden, but I saw the glint of his scope. Put 3 rounds into the branches. He fell out, hit the ground hard, didn't move. 1 was charging our position, screaming, firing from the hip, got him at 15 yards. He almost reached us. Almost. Each time I felt nothing, no satisfaction, no horror, just nothing. Pull trigger, target falls, move on. That worries me more than the killing itself, the numbness, the emptiness. What happened to the kid from Bedford who was scared of drowning? Who loved Eleanor? Who cried at Chaplain Finley's sermon? He's gone. Dead on Omaha Beach along with Roy and Earl and Bedford. I'm what's left. The shell, the soldier, the killer. I finished the letter to Roy's mother, sealed it, gave it to the mail runner. It's gone now. Out of my hands. She'll get it in 3 weeks maybe. 4. Sometime in July. She'll open it and read that her son is dead, that he died on a beach in France, that he's never coming home. What does she do then? How does she go on? How does any of them go on? Bedford's a small town. Everyone knows everyone. When the telegrams arrive, when the news spreads, it's going to tear the town apart. 19 boys, 19 families, 19 holes in the community that will never be filled. And I'm supposed to go back there someday? Walk down Main Street? See Roy's mother? See Earl's family? See Bedford Hoback's wife and baby? How do I face them? What do I say? Sorry your sons and husbands are dead. Sorry I survived and they didn't. Sorry there's no reason, no sense to any of it. I don't think I can go back to Bedford. Don't think I belong there anymore. That was Roy's town, Earl's town, Bedford Hoback's town. The 19 boys who died, that was their home. I'm just the ghost who happened to survive. Around midday, Chaplain Finley found me. He's been moving through the units, checking on men. He looked tired, older than he did a week ago. "Jimmy Dalton," he said. "How you holding up, son?" "Fine, sir." "You don't look fine." "I'm alive. That's more than I can say for most of Company A." He sat down next to my foxhole, uninvited. Just sat there. "I heard about the Bedford boys. I'm sorry. I know they were your friends." I didn't respond. What was there to say? "Have you been able to talk about it? About what happened?" "Nothing to talk about, sir. They died. I didn't. That's all." "That's not all. That's never all." I looked at him. His glasses were crooked again. How do they always get crooked? "I killed a man yesterday morning, Chaplain. Actually killed him. Saw his face. He was 19. Had a picture of a girl in his pocket. And I killed him. And you know what I felt?" "What?" "Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What does that make me?" He was quiet for a moment. Then, "It makes you a soldier doing an impossible job in impossible circumstances. It makes you human. It makes you a survivor." "I don't feel human. I don't feel anything." "That's shock. Trauma. Your mind protecting itself from experiences it can't process. It'll come back, Jimmy. The feelings, the grief. Give it time." "I don't want it to come back. It's easier this way." "Maybe. But easier isn't always better. You have to feel it eventually. You have to process what happened. If you don't, it'll eat you alive from the inside." I turned away. Didn't want to hear this. Wanted him to leave. But he didn't leave. He stayed. "The Lord is my shepherd, Jimmy. Remember, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters." We're not in green pastures, Chaplain. We're in hell. "He restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." God wasn't with Roy, wasn't with Earl or Bedford or any of them. Yes, he was. He's with them now, and he's with you. He's with all of us, even here, especially here. I wanted to believe him, wanted to feel God's presence, wanted to feel anything. But there was just emptiness. "Thank you, Chaplain, but I need to be alone." He stood up, put his hand on my shoulder. "I'm praying for you, Jimmy, for all the Bedford boys living and dead. God knows your heart. He understands your pain. He won't abandon you." Then he walked away, off to comfort someone else, to spread hope in this hopeless place. I sat in my foxhole and watched the sun set. Red sky, orange clouds, beautiful in a terrible way. Somewhere back in Bedford, the sun is setting too. Eleanor's probably finishing work at the store. My mother's making dinner. My father and Thomas are coming in from the fields. My sisters are doing homework. Life continues there. Normal life. Peaceful life. Life without war. I can barely remember what that's like. It's only been 2 days since Omaha Beach. 2 days. But it feels like years. Like I've lived a whole lifetime in 48 hours. Everything before the beach seems like a dream. A different world. A different life. This is real. This is my world now. Hedgerows and foxholes, and dead men and killing, and fear and numbness. This is what I am now. A soldier in a war that never ends. God help me. June 9th, 1944. Afternoon. Dug in near Formini. Still. Fighting through hedgerows. Still losing men. Still moving forward. The progress is agonizingly slow. We've advanced maybe 2 miles since D-Day. 2 miles in 3 days. At this rate, Germany's a lifetime away. But we keep going. What choice do we have? This morning was quiet. No major attacks. Just sniper fire and the occasional mortar. We used the time to rest, clean weapons, write letters. I tried to write to Eleanor. Started and stopped a dozen times. Finally managed this. "Dearest Eleanor, I got your letter from May. Thank you. It meant more than I can say. Hearing about home, about Bedford, about you, it helps. It reminds me what I'm fighting for. I can't tell you much about what's happening here. The censors wouldn't allow it anyway, but I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm thinking of you every day. I want you to know that I love you. I'll always love you, no matter what happens, no matter how long this takes. My love for you is the one thing I'm sure of, the one thing that hasn't changed. But I need to tell you something. I'm different now. The things I've seen, the things I've done, they've changed me. I don't know if I'll ever be the same person who left Bedford. I don't know if I can be. I want to come home to you. I want our life together, our house, our future. But I need you to understand that the man who comes back won't be exactly the same as the man who left. I'm trying to be honest with you, trying to prepare you. I still want to marry you. I still want everything we talked about. I just need you to know it might be different than we imagined. I love you. I'm sorry I can't be more cheerful. I'm sorry I can't pretend everything is fine. Stay safe. Stay strong. Wait for me if you can. I'll come home if I can. Yours always, Jimmy. I sealed the letter before I could second guess it. Gave it to the mail runner. It's gone now. Maybe I shouldn't have been so honest. Maybe I should have lied, told her everything's fine, kept up the pretense. That's what soldiers are supposed to do, right? Protect the folks at home from the truth. But I can't lie to Eleanor. She deserves the truth, even if the truth is ugly. If she decides she can't wait for a damaged man, if she finds someone else, I'll understand. I won't blame her. She deserves to be happy. She deserves better than what I've become. Around midday, Chaplain Finley held a memorial service for all the men we lost on D-Day, all the Bedford boys. We gathered in a clearing behind the lines, maybe 50 men from what's left of Company A, B, and C, mixed units now. All of us survivors. Chaplain Finley stood on an ammo crate so everyone could see him. His glasses were straight today, first time I'd ever seen them straight. He read from the Bible, Psalm 23 again, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Then he read the names, all of them. Every man from the 29th Division who died on June 6th. It took 20 minutes. I listened for the Bedford boys, heard each name, felt each one like a punch to the gut. Private Roy Stevens, my best friend, gone. Private Earl Parker, the Joker, the Dreamer, gone. Private Bedford Hoback, father who never met his daughter, gone. On and on, name after name, boys from Bedford, boys from other towns, all gone. When Chaplain Finley finished reading, he looked up at us. These men died for something greater than themselves. They died for freedom, for liberty, for their brothers in arms, for their country, for all of us. He paused. But they weren't just soldiers. They were sons and brothers and husbands and fathers. They were friends and neighbors. They were men with hopes and dreams and iron futures. Those futures were stolen from them on June 6th, taken by war, by evil, by the cruel randomness of battle. Another pause. We who survive have a duty, a sacred duty, to remember them, to honor them, to make sure their sacrifice wasn't in vain. We have to win this war. We have to liberate Europe. We have to stop the evil we're fighting. Because if we don't, if we fail, then they died for nothing. He looked at each of us in turn. Remember your brothers. Remember why they fought. Remember what they believed in, and carry that with you. Let their memory give you strength. Then he prayed, a long prayer, for the dead, for the living, for victory, for peace, for mercy and forgiveness and grace. I didn't bow my head. I stared at the ground, at the dirt where we stood, French dirt, foreign dirt, dirt where American boys died. After the prayer, Chaplain Finley invited anyone who wanted to share a memory to come forward. I almost didn't, almost stayed quiet, but something made me move, made me step forward. I stood next to Chaplain Finley, looked at the men gathered around. I'm PFC James Dalton from Bedford, Virginia. I want to talk about Roy Stevens and Earl Parker and Bedford Hoback. My voice was shaking. Didn't care. Roy was my best friend. We grew up together. He taught me how to play baseball. He could throw a fastball that would make your hand sting. We were going to play together after the war. We were going to go home and be normal again. But he died in the first 30 seconds on Dog Green. He didn't even make it off the boat. He was 22 years old. I paused, swallowed hard. Earl Parker was always joking, always trying to make us laugh. He had this dream about opening a restaurant after the war. Parker's Palace, he called it. He was going to give all the Bedford boys free meals for life. He talked about it all the time. What the menu would be, how he'd decorate it. He made us believe in that future. Made us think we'd all sit around his table someday, telling war stories, being old men together. He died on the beach, never going to open that restaurant, never going to serve a single meal. My throat was tight, could barely speak. Bedford Hoback was 27. He had a wife named Lucy, a baby daughter named Maggie. He'd never met his daughter. She was born while he was overseas. He carried a picture of them everywhere, showed it to everyone. He used to talk about going home, about holding Maggie, about watching her grow up. He died in the water, shot in the throat. Maggie's going to grow up without a father. She'll never know him except through stories. I looked at the faces staring back at me, all of them understanding, all of them carrying their own losses. They were good men, all three of them, all 19 of the Bedford boys who died. They believed in what we're doing. They believed it was worth the risk, worth the sacrifice. And maybe it is. Maybe their deaths will help win this war. Maybe they'll help bring peace. But right now, all I can think about is how much I miss them, how much Bedford's going to miss them, how unfair it is that they're gone. I stopped, couldn't continue, stepped back. Chaplain Finley put his hand on my shoulder. Thank you, Jimmy, for honoring them, for remembering them. A few other men shared memories too, men I didn't know talking about friends I'd never met. Same story, different names. Good men dead too young, futures erased, families devastated. When it was over, we stood there for a minute in silence. Just stood there. 50 men thinking about the men who weren't there. Then someone started singing, low, quiet. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Others joined in. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. I sang too. First time I'd sung since before D-Day. The words came automatically, learned in childhood at the Baptist church in Bedford. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Grace will lead me home. I want to believe that. Want to believe there's a way back, a way home, a way to be whole again. But I don't know. Don't know if grace is enough to heal what's broken. Don't know if anything is. After the service, men dispersed, back to their foxholes, their duties, their war. I walked to a quiet spot, sat against a hedgerow, took out this diary. And I realized something. This diary isn't just for me anymore. It's not just a way to talk to my mother or remember home. It's a memorial, a record, a testament. Roy and Earl in Bedford can't tell their stories. They're dead. Their voices are silenced. But I can tell them. I can write them down. I can make sure people know what happened, who they were, what they sacrificed. That's my duty now, not just to survive, not just to fight, but to remember, to record, to bear witness. Someone needs to tell Bedford's story. Someone needs to tell the story of Company A, 116th Infantry, the first wave on Dog Green Sector. It has to be me. I'm here. I'm alive. I saw it all. So I'm going to keep writing. Every day. Every entry. Everything I see. Everything I feel. Everything that happens. Because someday, this war will be over. And people back home, people who weren't here, they'll want to know what it was like. They'll want to understand. And I'll have this diary, this record, this truth, for Roy, for Earl, for Bedford, for all 19 Bedford boys, for everyone who died on Omaha Beach and didn't get to tell their story. I'm their voice now, their witness, their memorial. That's what gives me purpose. That's what keeps me going. Not revenge, not hatred of the Germans, not even duty to country, memory, honor, truth. I'm going to survive this war. I have to. Because if I die, these stories die with me. The Bedford boys become just names on a casualty list, numbers in a report. But if I live, I can tell the world who they were. I can make sure they're remembered, really remembered, not as heroes or martyrs or symbols, but as men, young men who laughed and dreamed and loved and feared and died too soon. That's worth surviving for. That's worth fighting for. So I'll keep going, through these hedgerows, through France, through Germany, however long it takes. I'll survive, I'll remember, I'll tell, for them. June 10th, 1944. Morning, still in the hedgerows, fourth night in France, fourth night of artillery and fear and no sleep. We're still grinding forward, another few hundred yards yesterday, 2 more fields taken. 1 man killed, 2 wounded. The killed was a kid from Pennsylvania. 18 years old, just arrived as a replacement 2 days ago. Didn't even know his name, took a bullet in the head from a sniper, dead before he hit the ground. Welcome to Normandy, kid. Welcome to the war. The hedgerow fighting is becoming routine. Horrible, deadly routine. We've learned the patterns. Suppress the hedgerow with rifle and machine gun fire. Move up with Bangalore torpedoes or satchel charges. Blow a hole. Rush through. Clear the field. Dig in. Repeat. Sometimes it works. Sometimes we lose men. It's a grinding, exhausting way to fight. Nothing dramatic. Nothing heroic. Just slow, methodical murder in small Norman fields. Last night I had my first real dream since D-Day. Actually fell asleep long enough to dream. I was back on Dog Green, standing in the water. Roy was there, bleeding, reaching for me. Earl was there, but his head was wrong, distorted, nightmare wrong. Bedford was there, floating face down. And I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't work. I was sinking, weighted down, drowning. The water rising over my head, cold, black, final. I woke up gasping, clawing at the walls of my foxhole. Couldn't breathe, couldn't see, panicking. It took 5 minutes to calm down, to remember where I was, to convince myself I wasn't drowning. The dreams are going to get worse, I think. My mind trying to process what happened, trying to make sense of the senseless. I don't want to sleep anymore. Don't want to go back to that beach. But the exhaustion is getting bad. Can't stay awake forever. Catch 22. Sleep and face the nightmares. Stay awake and go crazy from exhaustion. Some choice. This afternoon, more replacements arrived. Fresh-faced kids who haven't seen combat. They look so young. Were we that young 4 days ago? Hard to believe. They ask questions. What's it like? How bad is it? What should we expect? The veterans don't answer. We just look at them. Let them figure it out themselves. What would we say anyway? It's hell. You'll see things you can't unsee. You'll kill men. You'll watch your friends die. You'll question everything. You'll hate yourself. You'll go numb. You'll break. But you'll do your job anyway because there's no choice. Yeah, that'd be a great orientation speech. Better they learn it themselves. Better they still have a few hours of innocence before reality hits. We're supposed to attack again tomorrow. Push toward the town of Isigny. More hedgerows. More fields. More death. How many more days of this? How many more weeks? Months? The scuttlebutt is the Germans are regrouping, bringing up reinforcements. Panzer divisions from inland. They're going to counterattack, try to push us back into the sea. Let them try. We paid too much for this ground. Too much blood. We're not giving it back. I got a letter today from my mother. Written May 10th, before she knew about the invasion. Reading it was surreal. She wrote about spring in Bedford, about the garden coming in, about my sisters, about how much she misses me, about how proud she is. She has no idea what happened on June 6th, no idea about Roy and Earl in Bedford and the 19 boys from her town. By the time she reads this, she'll know. The telegrams will have arrived. The town will be mourning. She'll be crying for Roy's mother and Earl's family and Bedford's wife. And she'll be thanking God her son survived, feeling guilty for being grateful when so many others are grieving. I need to write to her, need to tell her I'm alive, need to let her know before she hears about Company A's casualties and assumes the worst. But what do I say? Dear Ma, I'm alive, but all my friends are dead. I watched Roy die. I killed a German teenager. I'm having nightmares. I don't know if I'll ever be normal again. Love, Jimmy. Can't write that, can't put that on her, so I'll lie. I'll tell her I'm fine, I'm safe, I'm thinking of home. The usual soldier lies to protect the folks back home. It's what we do. It's what we're supposed to do. Shield them from the truth. Let them believe we're okay. Let them sleep at night, even if we can't. June 10th, 1944. Evening. Same foxhole, same war. I wrote letters this afternoon, 3 of them. One to my mother. Dear Ma, I'm writing to let you know I'm safe. Can't tell you much about where I am or what I'm doing, but I'm okay. Eating regular, staying warm enough, doing my job. I got your letter from May. Thank you. Hearing about home helps more than you know. Tell Mary. Congratulations on graduating. Tell Ruth to behave herself. Tell Pa and Tao and Thomas I miss working the farm with them. I think about Bedford every day, about the mountains, about Sunday dinners, about sitting on the porch in the evening, about everything normal and good and peaceful. This war won't last forever. Someday soon I'll come home, and when I do, I'm never leaving again. I'm going to sit on that porch and watch the sun set over the Blue Ridge and never take it for granted. I love you, Ma. Tell everyone I love them. Tell them I'm thinking about them. Your son, Jimmy. One to Eleanor. Dearest Eleanor, just a quick note to say I'm thinking of you. I'm okay, keeping my head down, following orders, missing you every day. Do you remember that night last summer when we walked up to the overlook above town? We sat on that bench and watched the fireflies come out. You leaned against my shoulder and we didn't talk, just sat there in the quiet. I think about that night all the time, about how perfect it was, how simple, how right. I'm going to come home, Eleanor. I'm going to take you back to that overlook, and we're going to sit there again, just like before. Wait for me. All my love, Jimmy. And one to Bedford Hoback's wife, Lucy. This was the hardest. Dear Mrs. Hoback, my name is James Dalton. I was a friend of your husband, Bedford. We were in Company A together. We came from the same town, trained together, shipped overseas together. I'm so sorry to have to write this letter. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry Maggie will grow up without her father. I'm sorry for all of it. Bedford was a good man, one of the best I knew. He talked about you and Maggie constantly. He carried your picture everywhere. Every time we had a break, he'd take it out and look at it. He'd tell anyone who'd listen about his beautiful wife and his daughter he couldn't wait to meet. He loved you both so much. You were his whole world. Everything he did, every day he fought, it was for you. To get home to you, to be the husband and father he wanted to be. On June 6th, we landed on Omaha Beach in Normandy, France. It was very hard. There was a lot of enemy fire. Bedford was hit early. He died quickly. He didn't suffer long. I want you to know he was brave. He was thinking of you and Maggie. Even at the end, you were in his heart. I know this doesn't help. I know nothing helps. Your husband is gone and no words can fix that. But I wanted you to know what kind of man he was, what kind of soldier, what kind of friend. He was the best of us. He deserves so much better than this. I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do, anything at all, please let me know. Bedford was my friend. His family is my family. Take care of Maggie. Tell her about her father. Tell her he loved her more than anything. Tell her he died a hero. Sincerely, PFC James Dalton, Company A, 116th Infantry Regiment. I sealed the letters, gave them to the mail runner. They're gone now. Out into the world, carrying news that will break hearts. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Writing these letters, reliving the deaths, opening the wounds. Because it has to be done. Because these families deserve to know. Because Bedford's sacrifice deserves to be honored. Because memory matters, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. The sun is setting again. Another day survived. Another day closer to the end. However far away that is. God, let it be soon. Let this war end. Let us go home. Please. June 11th, 1944. Night. Dug in somewhere between Formigny and Isigny. 5 days since D-Day. Feels like 5 years. We're advancing faster now. The beachhead is solid. More troops, more supplies, more tanks. The initial chaos is over. We're organized now. Efficient. Deadly. The Germans are falling back. Fighting hard but falling back. We took 4 fields today. Minimal casualties. 2 wounded. None killed. Maybe we're getting better at this. Maybe we're learning. Or maybe we're just lucky. Or maybe the Germans are saving their strength for something bigger. The replacements who arrived yesterday got their first taste of combat today. A brief firefight in a field near a burned-out farmhouse. Lasted maybe 10 minutes. One of them froze. Just stood there in the open, rifle at his side, staring. A sergeant had to tackle him, drag him to cover. After it was over, the kid was shaking. Couldn't hold his rifle steady. Couldn't speak. I remember that feeling. Remember being that scared. Was it really only 5 days ago? Seems like another lifetime, another person. Now I just do the job. Point, shoot, move. No fear, no hesitation. Just automatic response. I don't know if that's better or worse. Better for survival, probably. Worse for my soul. What's happening to me? What's happening to all of us? We're becoming machines. Efficient killing machines. That's what war does. It grinds away the humanity, leaves just the soldier behind, Roy would hate what I've become. Earl would hate it. Bedford would hate it. But they're not here. They don't have to become this. They died still human, still whole. Maybe they're the lucky ones. No. No, I don't believe that. They're dead. Dead is not lucky. Dead is permanent. Final. The end. I'm alive. That's better. Has to be better. Even if alive means being broken. Even if alive means nightmares and numbness and never being whole again. Alive means there's still a chance. Still hope. Still possibility. Dead means nothing. I have to remember that. Have to hold on to it. This afternoon we passed through a French village. First real village I've seen since landing. Stone houses with red tile roofs. A small church with a bell tower. Narrow streets. Most of the civilians had evacuated, but a few remained. Old people mostly. Too old or too stubborn to leave. They came out of their houses when we passed. Waved. Some cried. One old woman kissed me on both cheeks, thanking me in rapid French I couldn't understand. Liberators. That's what we are to them. Heroes who drove out the Germans. Saviors. If only they knew. If only they could see inside my head, see what I've seen, what I've done. Would they still kiss my cheeks? Still call me a hero? Or would they see me for what I am? A broken kid who's killed men and watched his friends die and can't sleep without nightmares. Some hero. But I smiled, nodded, accepted their gratitude. Because that's what you do. That's the role we play. The old woman gave me a bottle of wine. Red wine from before the war. She'd been saving it, she said in broken English. Saving it for the liberation. I thanked her. Put it in my pack. Haven't opened it yet. Not sure I will. What's there to celebrate? We're camping in a field on the edge of the village tonight. First time since D-Day that we're not in a foxhole. Just bedrolls on the ground. Almost comfortable. Some of the men are drinking the wine the French gave them. Getting loud, laughing, acting like normal people for the first time in days. I can't join them. Can't pretend to celebrate. Can't forget even for an hour. Roy should be here. Earl should be here. Bedford should be here. All the Bedford boys should be here, drinking French wine, laughing about how we made it. But they're not. They're in graves back at the beach. Temporary graves until someone can ship them home. Or maybe permanent graves. Maybe they'll stay in France forever, buried in foreign soil, never coming home. Is that what will happen to me? Will I die here too? Be buried next to Roy and Earl in Bedford? Or will I make it through? Will I survive to go home, to see Bedford again, to hold Eleanor? I don't know. Can't know. Can only keep going, keep fighting, keep trying to live. That's all any of us can do. June 12th, 1944. Morning. 1 week since D-Day. 7 days. 168 hours. 10,080 minutes. That's how long it's been since we hit Omaha Beach, since Roy and Earl and Bedford died, since everything changed. 1 week, it feels like forever, and like yesterday at the same time. They held another service this morning, Chaplain Finley leading us in prayer, marking the week anniversary, remembering the dead. He read Psalm 23 again. I'm starting to hate that psalm, not the words themselves, but what they represent. Death, funerals, loss, the Lord is my shepherd, the valley of the shadow of death, all of it. I used to find comfort in those words. Now they just remind me of everything we've lost. After the prayer, Captain Taylor spoke. He's our new company commander. Captain Fellers died on the beach. Captain Taylor is from another company, moved over to lead what's left of Company A. He's young for a captain, maybe 30, tall, thin, serious, doesn't smile much. Can't blame him. Men, he said, 1 week ago, we hit Omaha Beach. It was the hardest day in the history of the 29th Division. Maybe the hardest day in the history of the United States Army. We took catastrophic casualties. We lost good men, the best men. He paused, looked at us. But we took that beach. We held it. We're here 7 days later, 6 miles inland. We've secured the beachhead. More troops are landing every day. We're winning, slowly, painfully, but we're winning. Another pause. Your brothers who died on June 6th, they didn't die in vain. They died taking the first step toward ending this war, toward defeating evil, toward bringing freedom back to Europe. Their sacrifice made everything that's happened since possible. He pointed back toward the coast. That beach back there? That's sacred ground now. American blood sanctified it. American courage took it. American sacrifice held it. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget what it cost. No, sir, we all shouted. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to take France back from the Germans. We're going to push all the way to Berlin if that's what it takes. And every step of the way, we're going to remember the men who got us here, the men who died so we could fight. Yes, sir. Company A, the Bedford Boys, the first wave. You are the tip of the spear. You are the heroes of D-Day. Make your fallen brothers proud. Fight like they would fight. Honor their memory with your actions. Yes, sir? After the speech, we prepared to move out. New orders. We're pushing toward the town of Carentan. Strategic crossroads. Important objective. The Germans are dug in there. It's going to be a fight. But first, I wanted to write one more entry. Mark the week. Reflect on where we are. 7 days ago, I was James Dalton from Bedford, Virginia, 22 years old, hardware store clerk, baseball player, Eleanor's boyfriend, scared kid pretending to be a soldier. Now I'm PFC Dalton, Company A, 116th Infantry, combat veteran, Omaha Beach survivor, killer of men. Witness to death, something harder, something colder, something I don't fully recognize. Is this who I am now? Is this permanent? I don't know. Hope not. Hope someday I can be Jimmy again. The kid who loved baseball and his girlfriend and sitting on the porch watching the mountains, but right now, I'm not that kid. Right now I'm a soldier, a weapon, a tool for the army to use however they see fit, and I'm alive. Against all odds, against all probability, I'm alive. Roy's not, Earl's not, Bedford's not. 19 Bedford boys aren't, but I am. And I'm going to stay alive. I'm going to survive this war. I'm going to go home. For them, for Bedford, for Eleanor, for my family. I'm going to make it. That's my promise to myself, to Roy and Earl in Bedford, to all the dead. I'm going to live. I'm going to remember. I'm going to tell their stories. 1 week down, however many more to go. God help me. God help us all. June 12th, 1944. Evening. Final entry. The sun is setting over Normandy, red and orange, beautiful and terrible. The same sun that rose over Dog Green 7 days ago. The same sun that's setting over Bedford right now. I'm sitting in a field, leaning against my pack. The hedgerows cast long shadows. Somewhere in the distance, artillery rumbles. The war continues. Tomorrow we move toward Carentan. More fighting, more dying, more of this nightmare that never ends. But tonight, right now, in this moment, I'm alive. I've been thinking about what it means to survive. What it means to keep going when everyone around you falls. What it means to be the one who lives. I don't have answers. Don't think there are answers. Just questions that echo in the dark. Why me? Why not Roy? Why not Earl? Why not Bedford? Random chance. Bullets that miss by inches. Luck. Fate. God's will. However you want to explain it. I'm alive because I jumped right instead of left. Because I dropped my pack underwater. Because I made it behind that obstacle. Because General Cota was there at the right moment. Because 1,000 tiny decisions and accidents aligned in my favor. That's all. Nothing special, nothing earned, just luck. And now I carry that luck forward. Carry the weight of being the one who survived. People back home, when they hear about D-Day, they'll think about heroes. They'll think about brave soldiers storming the beach, defeating evil, winning the war. They won't think about Roy bleeding out in the water, Earl's body floating in the surf, Bedford dying in the waves. They won't think about the 19 Bedford boys who never made it off the beach, unless I tell them. Unless I make them understand. That's why this diary matters. That's why I keep writing, even when it hurts, even when every word reopens the wounds. Because someone has to tell the truth. Someone has to say their names. Someone has to remember them as people, not statistics. Roy Stevens, 22 years old, best fastball in Bedford, died June 6th, 1944, Dog Green Sector, Omaha Beach. Earl Parker, 21 years old, dreamed of opening a restaurant, died June 6th, 1944, Dog Green Sector, Omaha Beach. Bedford Hoback, 27 years old, husband, father, never met his daughter, died June 6th, 1944, Dog Green Sector, Omaha Beach. And 16 more. 16 other names, 16 other stories, 16 other dreams cut short. They were here. They mattered. They died for something they believed in. That's the truth. That's what I'll carry forward, what I'll tell anyone who asks, what I'll write in this diary until the war ends or I die, whichever comes first. The Bedford Boys, Company A, First Wave, Omaha Beach, heroes and friends and brothers, gone but never forgotten. I close this diary now with a prayer, the same prayer Chaplain Finley taught us, the same prayer I whispered on the boat before the landing, the same prayer that's carried me through the valley. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. For Roy, for Earl, for Bedford, for all the Bedford boys, for all the dead, and for the living who must carry on. The following note was found with Private First Class James Dalton's diary. PFC James Patrick Dalton, Company A, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Infantry Division, was killed in action September 27th, 1944, near Nijmegen, Holland, during Operation Market Garden. He was 22 years old. He survived Omaha Beach on June 6th, fought through the Normandy campaign, helped liberate Saint-Lô, and participated in the advance across France into Holland. According to witnesses, Private Dalton died attempting to rescue a wounded comrade under fire. He was struck by artillery shrapnel and died quickly. He is buried at the Netherlands American Cemetery in Margraten. His diary was found among his personal effects and returned to his family in Bedford, Virginia, in November 1944. Private Dalton never married Miss Eleanor Hayes of Bedford. He never returned to the Blue Ridge Mountains he loved. He never sat on that porch watching the sunset. But his words survived, his memories survived, his testimony survived. The diary you have just heard preserves the voices of the 19 Bedford boys who died on Omaha Beach and the voice of the young man who tried to keep their memory alive. James Dalton kept his promise. He survived long enough to tell their story. He bore witness. He remembered. And now we remember him. The National D-Day Memorial stands in Bedford, Virginia. It honors the Bedford boys and all who gave their lives on June 6, 1944. Their names are there: Roy Stevens, Earl Parker, Bedford Hoback, all 19. And James Dalton's name is there too, not with the D-Day casualties, but honored alongside them, because he was their brother, their witness, their voice. They are not forgotten. None of them are forgotten. In memory of the Bedford boys, Company A, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Infantry Division, and all who served and sacrificed on Omaha Beach, June 6, 1944. We will remember them. End of diary.